What's going on, everybody? I realized that it's already almost Thursday, and I try and put one of these up a week, usually on Saturday, and I realized I hadn't even filmed something yet, let alone edited anything. So I figured I'd do one of these, get it edited, and get it up, hopefully on time. I'm going to Florida this weekend, spend about 4 or 5 days there with some family, just because I have a long weekend, so why not? But I don't want to let that get in the way of my schedule. And I also tried to vary this video as much as I could. So today we're going to be looking at some black metal, obviously. We're going to be looking at some thrash metal, some brutal death metal, and some almost like dark ambient style shit as well. And before we get into that, this is what we're listening to. This is the new EP from the band Wolfblood. So Wolfblood is a relatively new band from Denmark, and they play a sort of like punky style of speed metal. And I had this CD on in the car the other day, and you can kind of hear, I'll turn it up for a second. And when I had it playing in the car, Maddie had asked if it was midnight. And you can kind of hear that in the riffs especially. Vocally it's different, but if you like the midnight style of riffing, then Wolfblood is right up your alley. This is just an EP, I think it's 5 songs long, it's pretty short. But this is really, really, really good. Put out on Reaper Metal Productions. Like I said, there's not many songs on this thing, but even the song titles are kind of reminiscent of something like Midnight with Serpent Queen, Ride with Satan, Rot and Roll, and Fury Road. Just some fantastic stuff. It is a jewel case, but I didn't want it to glare, so I took it out. But this is really, really good. I'm going to leave some links in the description where you can like this band on Facebook, or maybe find a Bandcamp link, somewhere where you can buy the CD, as well as give Reaper Metal Productions a like on Facebook. Great, fantastic fucking shit, man. Listen to this if you like this style of great punky speed metal. Wolfblood. Alright, let's get into looking at a couple 7-inches here, because I actually do have 2 to show. And this first one is a bit of an anomaly. And I am talking about this. This is the ARYAN Blood split with Satanic WARMASTER. So ARYAN Blood from the Netherlands, Satanic WARMASTER obviously. This thing has been sold out forever. And you'll see them pop up on eBay every now and then, and they'll go for upwards of $40 or so. But I was talking to somebody about this, and they had mentioned that Obscure Abhorrence had just copies of it for sale for €10. I went and looked, and sure as shit they did. And I know that right before he had told me about it, he bought a couple copies, somebody else bought one, and they still had more. So I bought one, and it was a couple weeks after I had bought mine. It was still up, just for sale. This split that had been sold out for years was just up. Like Obscure Abhorrence just had a stack of them laying around. I posted a shot of this on Instagram, kind of mentioning that it was weird, and about 10 minutes later they sold out. So I assumed they were down to their last 2 copies or something, but the fact that they had any is just weird in the first place. But this is a fantastic split. Obviously, if you have the ARYAN Blood compilation through Struggle to Victory, you have the songs that are on this. For ARYAN Blood, this is the last of a string of like 5 splits in a row. And they did some good splits too. Splits with bands like Evil and Nordreich and Capricornus. The Satanic WARMASTER song, The Chanter Barbarian Wolves, that is surely on that newest compilation that Satanic WARMASTER has put out, but I'm sure it's also on something else. But this one's limited to 1,000 copies, and the first 88 were on like a mint green vinyl, and the rest were on black vinyl. But you can see this is the ARYAN Blood side. The song is called Strength, Pride, Nobility. There's the cover for the Satanic WARMASTER side right there. And on the inside you just have normal credits. The Satanic WARMASTER side has lyrics. The ARYAN Blood side says no lineup, no contact available. And then it says limited edition of 1,000 copies, first 88 come on colored vinyl. Like I said, it is sort of a mint green color. This, however, is just the black. There's the ARYAN Blood side right there. And the Satanic WARMASTER side. Very cool. If you read, because this came out in 2007, and if you read, the songs for both of these were recorded in 2003. So it's a little bit strange. I guess maybe they were just kind of songs that were sitting around for both of the bands for a while. I don't know, but it's cool. I like owning this thing. I'm gonna play the ARYAN Blood song simply because you guys have all heard Satanic WARMASTER. But yeah, fantastic split, man. ARYAN Blood, Satanic WARMASTER. Next up, this is a bootleg that was just put out this year. I'm not sure offhand who put this out. But originally it was released in 1994, and that is, of course, Emperor with As the Shadows Rise. So, if you know your history, this was put out the same year as In the Nightside Eclipse. And basically what this is 3 songs that were re-recorded from the Wrath of the Tyrant demo. And being that Wrath of the Tyrant was a demo, these are kind of 3 of those songs recorded with the same, like, sort of production quality as In the Nightside Eclipse. Besides that, of course, like, I think the vocals sound very similar. The only difference really is the production, but it's a cool thing to have. So I think in 1994, this was originally put out on a 7-inch through Nocturnal Art. But in 2014, Hammerheart put out a 12-inch single-sided LP of this one. And I'd actually like to get my hands on that just because it's more likely that I'd listen to it that way. Because for me, 7 inches are more novelties than anything. I hardly break them out. But yeah, this is really cool. I love the album cover. Obviously, this fucking Dore album cover. And there's the back right there with the 3 songs, The Ancient Queen, Witch's Sabbath, and Lord of the Storms. Yeah, really cool. It's just a fold-over cover with nothing on the inside. And it is just black vinyl. So, like I said, I don't know who bootlegged this, but I'm glad they did, man. Cool shit. Emperor, As the Shadows Rise. Okay, so, first of the 12-inch records here is something that I needed for a goddamn long time. For some reason, when this was repressed in 2016, I didn't think to grab it. I don't know what the fuck, but I have it now, and I'm glad I did because I've really needed to fill some holes in the collection for this band. And this is one of the best of the best. Of the best of the best. BELIAL'S Key with JUDEOBEAST Assassination. This was the second BELIAL'S Key album, obviously, following Mocking the Philanthropist. This one came out in 2001. And this is widely considered the best BELIAL'S Key album. It seems like a lot of people have a stronger affinity for the first 2 over Kosher Rat, and I agree. The first 2 obviously feature Kaz Grant or Black Lord of Crucifixion on drums and vocals. For me, the vocal delivery on the first 2 are absolutely fucking fantastic. It's very catchy. Like, the vocal patterns are very catchy. Everything about pretty much any BELIAL'S Key album, including Kosher Rat, which I still really like, is just very memorable, very catchy. Black metal. And the only reason BELIAL'S Key would earn air quotes around black metal is just because this is very atypical for black metal. Because really, if you separate the riffs from the rest of this, it doesn't really sound black metal. And it's the same thing, we've talked about it before with Argo Slint. BELIAL'S Key is the same way. It has a very almost heavy metal feel over black metal. And that's just because, like, in terms of the guitar, it's pretty clean. It's very, very sort of melodic and riffy, of course. But it's just fantastic, man. I would say if I had a favorite song on this one, the first song on this one, the TENDERHEARTED'S Manifesto, is fantastic. The Synagogue is one of the best BELIAL'S Key songs. Satanic Cunt is obviously. So this is a 2016 Drakkar repress. Now if you guys remember these represses, they were done on picture disc, and that is what this is. But of course, the album cover is fantastic. I like all the BELIAL'S Key album covers. They're very unique. There's the back right there. Again, very, very nice quality. I don't like the gloss, but what can you do? This comes with a lyric sheet, which is pretty cool, though it's kind of weird because, like, one side is matte and the other side is glossy. Really, really strange. But you got all the lyrics. Cool image on the bottom here. And this is nice right here. It says, this album was recorded inside Mary's vaginal walls. And at the end, to ridicule a commemoration of the resurrection of a hobo. And of course you have pictures of the band members. You got Galal in his weird soccer shirt there. Black Lord of Crucifixion up here, looking sinister as ever. And then you have a cool picture of a demonic here. And you gotta wonder if he chose this picture himself. Like, I mean, does he think that's a good picture? And so we're clear, I like picture discs. I think they're cool. They're neat to look at. Of course, a lot of times people make weird decisions with them. Like, I don't like when a picture disc doesn't have a jacket. This one does. And I don't like when picture discs just use the same front and back album cover on the disc itself. I feel like that's just a tad bit lazy. But this did it properly. Really fucking cool image on this side here. And I like the image on the back as well. You have all the song titles down there on the bottom, which is cool. So there's a reason that Grand Belial's Key is considered one of the best United States black metal bands, period. It's amazing. In terms of the music, it's fantastic. In terms of the lyrics, literally every line of every stanza on the lyric sheet is offensive. There's not one line where they take it easy on Christianity or Judaism. And I love that shit. I think it's great. I don't know, I don't have any examples offhand, but I mean, with song titles like the Synagogue and Satanic Hunt, the lyrics are just very witty. There's lots of wordplay and turns of phrases and stuff like that. That's across the board for Grand Belial's Key. This is one of the best United States black metal projects, bands, that ever will exist. And I think there's a lot of people out there who agree. So, fantastic. Absolutely fucking bulletproof, man. Grand Belial's Key, JUDEOBEAST, Assassination. Alright, so this next one is one that everybody's gonna know. It's also something that maybe some people may have thought that I would never talk about on this channel. But there's not really much of a reason for me to go into this in terms of the music or anything like that. I just want to show off that I have it and that I've been listening to it, and that I don't strictly stick to black metal and death metal. And obviously, KREATOR, Pleasure to Kill. KREATOR is probably the biggest name in like the Teutonic thrash scene, up there with Destruction and Sodom, shit like that. Yeah, Pleasure to Kill. This is the second KREATOR album from 1986. I mean, like I said, I don't need to talk about this, really. If somebody has, for some reason, never heard this, it's fast, ultra-aggressive thrash metal. Fast, angry riffs all over the place on this thing. My only problem with this album, I think, is like, some of the lyrics are pretty dumb, but you gotta imagine that English isn't this band's first language. And maybe it's not even that the lyrics are dumb. Maybe it's more that the themes are just really played out. But, I mean, you have to forgive a band that did it fucking 32 years ago, when maybe those themes weren't played out. And you can tell by this big, ugly fucking remastered thing right next to the album title that this is a 2017 Noise Records repress. Now, one thing about this album is that the vocals trade off between Millie and Ventor. And I like Millie's vocals better. They're more snarly, which sometimes I don't like that, but the snarly vocals when it's like this angry sounding is a cool mixture. So, I don't know, I think it's cool. But, whatever, there's the album cover. Obviously, it's not a very good album cover. There's the back cover right there with all the track listing, and then you have the Flag of Hate songs right there. This is a gatefold with a bunch of, like, interview type shit on the inside, which is cool. Lots of liner notes, stuff like that. It's very nice. And this is a double LP with all the lyrics and some more credits, thanks, shit like that on the inside. And I actually bought this from a buddy of mine who lives here in Kentucky, a buddy named Sean. I've met him before, cool guy, but he was selling some shit and I got this from him. Yeah, fantastic, man. Really, really good. I'm not the biggest fan of this style of music, but this album being as angry and aggressive as it is, I back it 150%. So, yeah, really, really good, man. Obviously, classic as fuck, KREATOR, Pleasure to Kill. Alright, next up, this is a compilation of this band's or project's first 2 demos. This is the True Werewolf with Vampire, Strigoi, and Rituals. So, like I said, this is a compilation that was released in 2007. And obviously, Werewolf, who we just talked about a little bit earlier with that Satanic WARMASTER split, 2007 just seemed likely to be that guy's fucking busiest year of all time. There's so much shit between his projects that came out that year. Of course, this wasn't recorded in 2007. Both of these were recorded in 2003, which, again, that Satanic WARMASTER ARYAN Blood split, the songs on that were also recorded in 2003. So if you're not familiar with the True Werewolf, it's just another one of Werewolf's projects. This is a one-man project as far as I'm aware, but the thing about this is, like, this has 2 very different styles on it. Side A is very different than side B. So the 2 songs that are on side A, the Vampire Strigoi side, are not like black metal whatsoever. It's kind of like sort of dark ambient, but there are vocals on top of it, and the vocals are very fucking scary sounding. And that's really the best part of it. I'm not a big fan of that style, but the side B on this, the Ritual side, is actually like black metal. There's 4 songs on that side: His Kingdom, Burning Forever, The Werewolf Rituals, and Kamiosani. So what's kind of weird about this band is, well, first off, these 2 demos, as far as I could find, were never released individually before this. Which is kind of strange. And also, this was originally put out in 2007, like I said, on Dark Adversary. And this is one of those bands, kind of like ARYAN Blood actually, where they have quite a bit of material, but there's never been a full-length album released under the True Werewolf banner. It's got a cool album cover with the bat. This is different than the first press of this, which had like, you know, like a strip with like the True Werewolf logo and the bat sort of more over here. This was repressed this year through Final Agony. That's the back cover right there. A sweet fucking picture of a werewolf. And you just have some creepy shit written right here. But I like that it says, all hymns bled from the black heart of Groff Werewolf. So I don't know the limitations on this. There was 2 versions. You could get it on black vinyl, or you could get it on this gray vinyl. Side A, not my thing at all. Side B, the really raw black metal songs are actually quite catchy. So, I mean, it's, you know, obviously my thing. But yeah, man, I mean, this for me is good for the Ritual side. I like it. I've played it a few times, and I'm a fan. So I don't know if there'll ever be a full length from the True Werewolf, but keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure whatever it is probably gonna be good. So True Werewolf with Vampire, Strigoi, and Rituals. Let's change gears again and look at something else that sort of just doesn't fit with the rest of the shit I've shown in this video. This is Insidious Decrepancy with the Inerrancy of Profanation. So, Insidious Decrepancy, obviously Sean Whitaker, who has done a lot of shit, man. I mean, he did Viral Load, which is my favorite thing that he's ever done. He toured live as the vocalist for Cerebral Bore and Pathology. He's also played with Cephalotripsy and Extremely Rotten. I mean, the guy used to just be a machine in terms of being involved with really, really good brutal death metal. And Sean Whitaker had all of this good shit going for him, and one day he just fell fuck off. I remember we used to be Facebook friends, because I've met him a couple times. And he always, with the times I've met him, he'd always seemed very concerned about what people thought of him. I remember one time I complimented him. The first time I met him, I saw him with Cerebral Bore, and I complimented. I saw him after the show. I bought a shirt from Cerebral Bore from him, and I remember telling him that, "Hey man, great set." And he was like, "Yeah, I wish you'd go on Facebook and tell those people that, because I've heard nothing but hate for the last 3 weeks." And it's just like, homie, why do you fucking care? But anyway, one day, I got up and I was just scrolling Facebook before I got out of bed, and I saw he had made this long Facebook post about how he decided to become a born-again Christian. And Justin Stubbs, who makes videos here on YouTube, by the way, one of my favorite content creators right now, more than pretty much anybody else I've been watching over the last few months. His videos are the ones I'm always the most excited about. Fantastic shit. I'm gonna go ahead and link his channel in the description. He plays for bands like Incoffenation and Father Befouled, which I know every one of you have all fucking heard that shit. So, fantastic content creator, fantastic musician. Link for his channel in the description. If you like this shit, if you like what I'm doing and you don't like what he's doing, there's a big fucking problem. Anyway, in one of his recent videos, he was talking about Sean Whitaker, and he had mentioned all of this. But yeah, he had made a Facebook post about how he found Jesus, and he always knew God exists, but he was angry with him, and he hated him. So because he decided to turn to Christianity, we lost one of the best brutal death metal musicians, vocalists around, man. Viral Load went away, which I think Viral Load was kind of already on the outs anyways. Insidious, Decrepancy, I know he was working with a new project called Without Form, which I don't think anything was ever even recorded for that. But homeboy just fell off, man. He deleted everybody from his Facebook, and he decided to suck the dick of God from there on out. I don't know what he's doing nowadays. Like I said, he's got everybody like blocked and shit now. So lame as fuck, but sometimes you get those, so whatever. And this is the second Insidious Decrepancy full-length album that came out in 2005. And as much as I like this album, nothing for me beats the Viral Load stuff. I really, really love Sean Whitaker's vocals. And the vocals are very similar on this, but for something about this is just not as catchy, I guess, as the Viral Load stuff. And that's honestly, if I had one criticism of this and of Insidious Decrepancy in general, is that after a few of these songs, they kind of start to blend together. Viral Load doesn't have that problem for me. But this is great, man. There is a drum machine, but it's actually surprisingly good use of a drum machine. It's not annoying or distracting or anything like that. So that's definitely a plus. But there's the album cover there. It's super fucking cool. It's like zombie nuns eating fucking organs and stuff like that. There's the back there with all the song titles. This was put out through Savard Records. This does have a lyric sheet with thanks and all the credits and shit on the other side. And it is just black vinyl, but I'll show you that label is pretty fucking funny. So from what I understand, 500 copies. You can actually get this for less than $10 on Discogs. So if you want it, man, even if you're curious, this is worth a blind buy. I love shit like this. If you're a brutal death metal fan and you don't have this, man, like I said, less than $10, just fucking buy it. I don't know what song I'm gonna leave because, like I said, they're kind of all interchangeable, but they're all really good. So fantastic brutal death metal for those of you who are into that sort of thing. Yeah, Insidious Decrepancy, the inerrancy of profanation. Alright, let's finish this off here. I've had this for a while, and this is actually another compilation, but this is more in the vein of, I guess, what I normally talk about. This is the Ancient Records demo compilation, part 2. There was a part 1, obviously, and I think that it came out in 2014, maybe? All these songs were largely written by Swartadothis, who does Beketh Nexamu, Azalizaseth, Nipahalan, Mystic, Dadaudiger, etc. So I'm not sure if these were kind of just songs that were recorded and just were kind of sitting around and nothing was ever done with them. Personally, for me, these sound like Azalizaseth songs over pretty much any other of the bands that I mentioned. The sort of fast, aggressive black metal that we sort of know Azalizaseth for. So that's kind of where my brain is telling me that these songs were initially supposed to be recorded for, but I have no way to verify that. I don't know for sure. But yeah, cool album cover. There's the back right there with the man himself and all the song titles. This is pretty long. It's almost 2 hours long. Limited to 500 copies, put out through Purity Through Fire. And like I said, largely written by Swartadothis, but there are some other members throughout this thing, mainly guys from Beketh Nexamu. But surprisingly, this does have all the lyrics on the inside. I don't know why that's surprising, but it is. And it says double LP, black vinyl, all the labels look identical, so I'm not gonna pull it out. I mean, you can get this for like $25 on Discogs. So if you're really into the Azalizaseth style of black metal, I mean, if you don't have it, this is what that sounds like. So really fucking cool. I'm just gonna choose a random song and play that. So Ancient Records Demo Compilation Part 2. And that's it, guys. CD's over. We actually went through that CD probably 4 times in the time it took me to record this, and my camera's about to die. So I'll be back soon. I know already what I'm going to show in the next vinyl update video, and I got to do another vinyl collection video before that. So lots of shit coming. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and we'll talk soon. Later.